Will the COVID-19 vaccines be available for everyone? And maybe more importantly, should everyone be taking them? We'll explore that on this episode of Shareable Science Beyond the Blog. Welcome to Shareable Science. Science you can share. So for this episode, we've only got one question, but it's got multiple parts to it. Will fill in the blank get the vaccine? In other words, will it be available and should they take the vaccine? Now, this is a private decision. You've got to make a choice based on what you know about the risks, the benefit, your own certain situations, your own individual risks of getting ill with COVID-19. But there are some broad categories of individuals where the FDA has either said, yep, there's not a problem, or we need more information. So let's walk through those. And again, this is data as of December 14th. This information changes rapidly. So just keep that in mind if you're watching this in March or April. Children. So at this moment, the only vaccine that's received emergency use authorization in the United States, the Pfizer vaccine, is only available for individuals age 16 and older. It is not available for children, at least not yet. There will need to be other clinical trials looking at the efficacy of the vaccine in younger populations. And that really is true across the board, across all vaccine candidates. We start with adults, and then we begin to look at other populations. That same sort of thing is also present when we talk about pregnant women or nursing women. And this one's a little bit more complicated because pregnant women and nursing women were not included in the clinical trials for the Pfizer study and in many of the other clinical trials as well. So we don't have data on how it works in those populations. We don't necessarily have reason to believe that it's problematic. They just were excluded from the study. Now, what you have to weigh against that is that we know that there seem to be some increased risks for pregnant women if they get COVID-19. So this is a conversation, number one, to watch the data, and number two, probably to have with your doctor to decide where you actually fall on should I get the vaccine or should I not. Let's move on to our next category. People with seasonal allergies, not a problem. If you've got hay fever like I do and you take a seasonal medication, those kinds of allergies are not what you should be concerned about. It's fine for you to go ahead and take the vaccine. It's different for people that have life-threatening allergies. These are individuals that have an allergic reaction that often can land them in the hospital. They may carry an EpiPen around. Pfizer has said if you have a known allergy to any of the components of their vaccine, and you can actually do your favorite web search for Pfizer vaccine, COVID vaccine ingredients, and you'll see all of it. It's mRNA, it's fats, it's salts. I think there might be a little bit of sugar in there as well, but you'll get the specific details. If you know you have an allergy to one of those, you should not get this vaccine. You should wait for something else. There's some data from the early giving of the vaccine in England that noted that some individuals that had known other allergies had a severe allergic reaction when they were given the vaccine. They were immediately given a dose of epinephrine and they were okay, but so there are some questions about people that have known life-threatening allergies if they should get this vaccine. So I think we need more guidance, we need more data before we move that into the yes category. People who are immunocompromised. The data from the Pfizer paper suggests that these individuals may have a diminished immune response. It's not 100% clear of what that means. Maybe their immune system, because they already have a weakened immune system, maybe they'll be less effective at generating that kind of immune response. So it might be a weak response. It doesn't say that they shouldn't get it, but it is something that they just need to be aware of. Individuals with autoimmune diseases, this is one of those pieces that we really don't know. And so I would say that it is worth waiting for more data, for additional guidance, but you could also talk to your doctor if you have an autoimmune disease, since we're talking about a vaccine that stimulates our immune response. People who have already had COVID-19, it actually turns out that about 5 to 10% of the people in some of the clinical trials actually already had COVID-19. They might have been asymptomatic, but they were discovered to have antibodies already. Having the vaccine didn't cause any problems, so it wasn't harmful, but the CDC has said they're going to wait for some additional research before they offer a firm recommendation on whether people that have already gotten COVID-19 should get vaccinated. Remember, some people who have COVID-19 have really mild or no symptoms at all, and they may not mount a very strong immune response. So the vaccine might be useful. But again, we'll wait on that. And then the question that I get asked an awful lot is, Neil, would you actually get this vaccine? And my response has been, I want to wait and see the data. I want to see if it was tested across multiple groups. I want to see what kind of side effects. I want to see what level of efficacy. The data that I am seeing gives me confidence in getting this vaccine. Now, I don't know when my category for prioritization gets activated, when I'll be eligible to get the vaccine. There may be multiple vaccines at that point, and we'll have those conversations with my doctor. But I would be comfortable getting the vaccines that we currently have approved for emergency use authorization. I hope you find this useful as you make decisions, as you look for information about vaccination. Share this with those that are also asking those same kinds of questions. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on our next episode of Shareable Science. Take care.